Anyway, I've got, as they say in Ireland, a few yarns to tell you. And what Cornelius probably forgotten is I've negotiated for a little bit more than 5 minutes, maybe 10. So I'm going to hold her to that. And I'll start with telling you about, in Ireland, there used to be marriages of all ages. Some would get married quite advanced because it would be match, maybe an old man to a young girl. And there was one such man, and when the priest said, "Do you take this woman for better or worse?" He said, "I'll take her for better, Father. If she gets any worse, I'll bring her back to you."
That's a good one.
Then there was this dear Kerry man whose wife was expecting a baby. And he goes into work one morning and he says, "The wife had the baby last night. Guess what she had?" A voice to someone. No, from the boy. The girl says someone else. Who told you? Then there was this dear Kerry man, and he arrived into work one morning, and he had one glove on. And it was an English firm, of course, straight away. It said, "What a one glove, Pat?" "Well, I was just listening to the weather forecast, and they said on the one hand it might be quite cold, and on the other hand it might be quite warm." I'll now move on to when the lottery started first. And an Irishman, and not a Kerry man this time, because I'm not an unfair man, a Roscommon man. He won 100,000 at a little post office down in Cricklewood. And the postmaster came out, a very nice gentleman called Mr. Patel. And he said, "Congratulations, Mr. Murphy. I wish you and your family every success. Now, there's a house rule, we can only give 10,000 cash, but you can have the balance in the morning, a certified cheque, or in cash at a bank of your choice." He said, No, if you're going to mess me about, just give me my pound back." There was a burglar, and he broke into a house one night and he found what he thought was an Aladdin's cave. So he had a little torch, and he had a DVD. So he went to slip it into his bag, but he heard a voice saying, "Jesus is watching you." So the hair stood in his head. So after a couple of minutes, he went to slip in something else, a mobile phone, something like that. Again, he heard, "Jesus is watching you." So then, after a couple of minutes, he went to slip in another item. He heard, "Jesus is watching you." But this time he was a bit braver. He shone his little torch around the room. And all he saw alive was a parrot in the corner. He said, "Was that you speaking?" "Yep." "Are you referring to yourself as Jesus?" "No, I'm Moses." So he got a bit ratty then. He said, "What kind of people call a parrot Moses? The same kind of people as call a Rottweiler Jesus." There's a little bit of Western Ireland crudity of language in this, but no swear words or no dirty words. But there was a little nun, they called them a novice when they entered the convent first. And she was walking down the corridor one day with a tray of crockery. And the next thing a rat ran out in front of her. And she said, "Oh Jesus!" And she let the crockery fall, smithereens all over the floor. And then the Reverend Mother was coming behind, and she didn't mind about the breakages, but taking the holy name she'd have to arrange a special confession. She doubted if she'd even get absolution. So the poor little nun was all day keyed up about this special confession. What will the priest say? What will they do? Will I be excommunicated, etc., etc.? And that night, at 7 o'clock, when it was time for her special confession, and she went in and the slide come over, she was just so keyed up that she blurts out straight away to the priest, "Oh, Father the Rat!" The priest said, "Oh, Christ, where is the bastard?" Then there were two guys, an Irishman and a West Indian gentleman, and they applied for a job at McNicholas, but there was only one vacancy. So out comes Bernard McNicholas, nephew and foreman. He said, "Hello lads, now how do we work this one? One job, two fellas." "Well, we manage this now," he said. "There's a little intelligence test. Now I'm sure you both pass, you both do very, very well. But if one of you just comes out marginally better than the other, now he's the one who gets the job. Do you understand that now, boys?" "Yes." "Right, Pat. Now, we'll start with you, Pat. Pat, can you spell cat? C-A-T. Very good, very good. I can see you've had a very good education. Now, Leroy, can you spell anti-disestablishmentarian? Then another man applied to McNicholas for a job as a handyman. So the interviewer said to him, "Oh, so what's your game now?" He says, "You be a bit of an old chippy." I said, "What's a chippy?" "A carpenter." "But Jesus, no, I can't drive a nail." So, "Oh, I know what you do now. You're a bit of an old sparks." He said, "What's that? Electrician?" "God, no, I can hardly switch on the light." "Oh, I know what your game is then." He says, "You're a bit of an old pipes." He said, "What's that?" "Plumber." "Oh God, no, I can hardly turn on the tap." I know then what your game is." He says, "You're a bit of an old bricklayer." I said, No, he says, I couldn't even lift a brick." "Oh," he said, "I know what your game is then. You're a bit of an old skin." He said, "What's that?" "Plastering." "Jesus, no," he says, I can't even lift a trowel." "So what's so handy about you?" And he said, "I only live around the corner." Then another man applied to Murphy this time for a clerical job. And the interviewer, an Englishman, he said to him, "What age are you?" He said, 34. He said, "How many A levels have you?" He said, 35. He said, "Are you taking the mickey?" He said, "You started it." Well, over in Dublin, they have what they call the holy hour. At least they used to anyhow in my time. Between 2 and 3 every day, there was no drink served in hotels, restaurants or anything, maybe to residents. But it was a rule that was strictly adhered to. And it was a sweltering hot July day. This man arrives anyhow, grinds the car to a halt out there just barely on 2 o'clock. By the time he got into the pub, it was just about 1 minute past 2. "Ah, just made it. Barnes there, shaking his head, and polishing his glass. And he says, "It's only just past 2. I'm all right for a drink." He says, "Look," he says, "you can serve me a drink, it's just past 2. He says, "Let me explain something to you." He says, "Between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, there's no drink at all. So he had one or two more tries, and then he says, in protest, he says, "Well, I'm going to wait here till 3 o'clock. "Oh, to be sure. I don't mind at all if you wait here till 3 o'clock. Would you like a drink while you're waiting?" And my final contribution tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a man went into a pub and he ordered a whiskey and ginger ale. And the barman, when he went up to the counter first, before he ordered, the barman said to him, "What are you having?" He said, "Whiskey and ginger ale." So the barman said, "That would be £4.70, please." He said, "What do you mean? I didn't order a drink. You asked me what I was having. I thought you were treating me." So a bit of an argument ensued, and then a bespectacled individual reading the Times in the corner came forward and he said, "Excuse me, but I am a solicitor, and legally this man does not have to pay for his drink. You did ask him what he was having, and that does constitute a treat in accordance with the Vintners Act 1976 and the Sale of Goods Act 1991, Clause 2 as amended." So barman came up then and he says, "All right," he says, "you have your drink and get out of here, but I never want to see you in here again." About 6 months later, the same man went in up to the bar. The barman said, "No, I'm not serving you." He said, "Why not?" He said, "The last time you were in here," he says, you refused to pay for your drink, and the solicitor over there in the corner came over and he helped you to get off without paying it on a technicality." He says, "I can honestly say I was never in this pub in my life before." And the barman said, "In that case, you must have a double. Thank you very much. Large brandy, please." Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Cordelia for inviting me here tonight. All the people who have invested a lot of effort into my two voices who came along to support me. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Let's put our hands together.